and welcome to a new video on my channel. I'm Adam and this is Battle of the Beasts All Generation episode number 28. Today I got two more beasts fighting it out, and let's just say both of these beasts, well, one is good, one is bad. So yeah, I have a bit of favoritism here, but whatever. So let's start things off by introducing the beast. So representing Series 18, The Trial of Heroes, Book number 3. The first beast to be competing in this tournament from this series. It is Drogan, the Jungle Menace. And representing the other side, which is a very big batch of specials. Special number 15, Jakara, the Ghost Warrior. So, Drogan versus Jakara. Which one will win? Which one will lose? This one is a high size advantage. This one is just very small but has a ton of good abilities. Let's find out who would win. But let's get to the stats. Okay, so we're going to start things off with Drogan's weakness. His weakness is that he can be easily tricked. He relies on brute force to kill his opponents, and that can lead him to being susceptible to being tricked. Or fooled, or bamboozled, you might say. Jakara's weakness is weakness when being separated. So, Jakara, if you didn't know, is a combination of a former Master of the Beast named Kara, or Mistress of the Beast, let's say, and a ghost beast called Jakara. Jakara is the ghostly half of Jakara, whilst Kara is the human half. I bet Luke's just going to put something right there, going like, "Yeah, we know," or something like that. Yeah, that sounds like something he would do. Sorry to assume that, Lucas, but if you don't end up doing it, then I'm just going to look like an absolute fool. Okay. And they can be split apart when her breastplate is removed. Speaking of breastplate, equipment that Jakara has. Now, it's been said in the stat department, but yes, I am using the golden armor for Jakara. Yeah, that means Jakara has access to the entirety of the golden armor. So, yay. Yeah, and as Tom isn't around for this battle, Jakara has the entirety of the golden armor powers and can use them without having to share it with Tom. But for Battlefield, we're going to have a plain rocky arena. Actually, no. We're going to have a jungle arena. Yeah, jungle. Because Drogan is a jungle menace, and Jakara is technically fought on an island with a ton of trees, so close enough to a jungle. So, with that, let's get to the fight. So, as both chamber doors open, Drogan barges right through the chamber and makes his way into the centre of the arena, roaring in aggression. Jakara just strides out, dragging her axe along the floor, just all nonchalant. They make eye contact to each other. Drogan roars in aggression and thumps his fists on the ground, just causing the ground to vibrate. Jakara uses her axe as a sturdy pole so she doesn't tumble. And she looks up to see Drogan charging up right towards her. Jakara readies her axe and batters Drogan around the head with it, knocking Drogan to the side a little. Knocking over a few trees and causing the trees to fall on top of Drogan. Drogan goes to get up and punch Jakara. Jakara just moves a bit to the side, and Drogan's fist just goes right through the ghostly half of Jakara. Jakara doesn't feel this at all, and using the axe, brings it down on top of Drogan's arm or wrist, which causes a very deep gash into it. And Jakara drags it right through Drogan's wrist, causing it to go limp. Drogan roars in pain, and with all the power he has in his other fists, he causes the ground to shake repeatedly. Jakara keeps her axe buried into the soil, so she doesn't lose her footing. Drogan picks up a tree and swings it towards Jakara. Jakara ducks down just to avoid it, and it she gets back up to see it coming down again, so she swings her axe and slices right through the tree. Drogan, in utter awe and shock, is enraged by this and starts attacking Jakara repeatedly, but just going like punching, kicking, everything he can do to just get to Jakara. But this is all part of Jakara's plan. She's making Drogan get overwhelmed with anger, just so he would stop paying attention to his surroundings. Little did he know that every time he punched the ground, he's digging his claws, that's on his knuckles, into the ground and dragging them upwards, to the point where he's technically digging a hole. And Jakara is just moving backwards, making Drogan go round in a circle. And it's not until Jakara decides to attack by swinging her axe down onto the ground right in front of Drogan. Drogan stops what he's doing in utter confusion, but then he looks down and realises that there's a giant circle that's been made from his punches into the ground. And Jakara just added extra weight on it by slamming it down, causing it to crumble. Drogan loses balance and just falls over. And Jakara gets on top of Drogan, walking along his barrel chest, lifts her axe and brings it down right on top of Drogan's body. Drogan goes to lift his arm to attack. Jakara moves out of the way and using powers of the wind that she can control. Whilst I'm aware that ability is only on Krikos the island that she was fought on. We're going to bring it here because that'll be an interesting ability to have. Plus, Lucas will not really care because he loves Jakara. So yeah, the wind and water manipulation Jakara has as the ability. So Jakara uses the wind to just give it enough force to push Drogan's fist back down. And using her axe, she picks it up off of Drogan's chest and digs it right into his arm to where it's pinned down to the ground. Drogan can't lift his remaining arm, whilst his other fist is broken, so he can't do anything. Jakara stares at Drogan right in the eyes and gives a bit of a teasing wink to just be like, teasing smirk and a little sly wink, just to aggravate Drogan even more. He roars in aggression. Jakara doesn't even flinch. She instead lifts up her ghostly hand and presses it right into Drogan's body. Drogan feels the pain almost instantly and is feeling himself shrinking and just disappearing. He's wondering what's happening, but then he sees that the Kara side of Jakara is growing claws from her knuckles, and then Drogan just suddenly disappears completely. Jakara stands back up, picks up her axe, and the audience is just looking in confusion on what happened. But as they see Jakara walk back, seemingly unfazed by what happened, and uninjured actually, they notice that she has the Wolverine claws that Drogan had on her knuckles. In utter confusion, the crowd realised that Jakara absorbed Drogan and took that ability from him. So with that, Jakara has won, Drogan has lost. If you think Drogan should have won, please leave in the comments below why you think that. However, Jakara is the winner. If you ask me, there's no way Drogan was going to win that fight. Whilst I probably should have had this as a bit of an earlier fight, considering this is more of an obvious fight, I decided to put it around here because it can be interesting because of the opportunities I have when using Jakara. And I use that to my full advantage. Like what Ferric did with Xeric, and Ferric turned Xeric into his Iron Legion member, Jakara has turned absorbed Drogan, meaning that she now has Drogan's Wolverine Claw abilities, and I will hopefully remember that for her round 2 battle, where she can use that as another weapon she can use against her round 2 opponent. So this tournament is already kicking off as a rather interesting tournament with some notable entries already through to round 2. These notable entries being Jakara, Ferric, the newest entry to the whole series, Devora. We also got Okko, finally made it to the next round. We got Silver. I wouldn't say notable, but Lucas would probably hate me if I don't mention him. And of course, who can forget the old generation runner-up Crestor. We also got other notable entries like Merc with a very impressive victory, as well as other victories as well, which were rather creative, if you ask me, being Nixa and Sultra. So we already got an alright lineup for round 2 already. And we're not even halfway through round 1 yet. So that's an idea of how many battles we got. We got a grand total of 77 battles in round 1. And this was battle 28. I'm doing battle number 29 and battle number 30 in the next 2 videos I do for this series. And I still won't be halfway done. Yeah, this is the curse of a loss of beasts in one tournament. But with that being said, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press the notification bell down in the corner below, and I'll see you next time.